Hello everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David.
And me, Glenda.
And we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia.
And I'm in the UK.
And we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello listeners and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge, and I'm here as always with my co-pilot, co-host Glenda. Hello Glenda.
Hi David, and hello listeners. How are you this week, David?
I'm a bit tired. It's not been an overly busy week, but I feel a bit knackered today. But it's nearly Friday, isn't it? It's that Friday feeling.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even Friday yet, but I've already got it. I've already got that feeling. Yeah. How about you?
I'm actually good. I don't know. I've been doing lots of readings and getting back into swing of things. I'm doing some studies, to advance myself and offer some new things. But yeah, just keeping up to date with it, decluttering. Oh God, I could go on. When would you like me to stop?
Well, do you know, it's come to the time of the year, isn't it? It's September already, and it comes to that point of the year where we start to wind down or reflect or make sure we've got things sorted and in order for whatever else is coming. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be a little bit, I don't know, it just seems to be a little bit busy for the rest of this year. I don't know why I think that, but it's just, I
Yeah.
think things might go a little bit mental. I don't know why I want to say that either. It's just comes to my mind. So,
Yeah, and as you kind of say that, I feel like it brings me to our what I would like to talk about on Spirit Lounge this evening, this morning, or whatever time you're listening.
oh, right, go
Talk
on,
about going it
let's get into it. Let's get into it.
right. Talk about going a little bit mental. Now, I'm a little bit, I think, hidden from some of the stuff, but when I do jump on social media or when I do see a lot of things, and it is the talk of what is happening within the mediumship whole collaborative or the whole mediumship, what would you call it?
Industry, world.
Industry world. It's gone a bit nuts, and people are just a little bit out of control. But the other thing what I want to bring up is what's been getting on my goat. I I reached out to certain somebody to invite them to come on Spirit Lounge. Now, this certain somebody responded with, well, how many followers do you have? Now, this is a person that is out there, that is a massive inspiration to all of us mediums, that has been doing it for decades. And that I look up to, and I'm sure you look up to, and a lot of other mediums look up to, not to mention people that get readings and they come across as spiritual and they preach all of this love and we should be all of this and we should all be that, but they're too important to come on a podcast because they're so interested in the followers.
Yeah,
It's really disappointing.
I agree.
It's
I
more
agree.
disappointing because they would have started somewhere. We all start somewhere.
Yeah,
And if that person had responded or their team had responded with, I'm sorry, such and such is really busy. They're booked out for a year. They're booked out for such and such. You know what? I could have taken that on board.
No, yeah, I agree.
But the first line was, how many followers do you have? And that's all they were interested in, is how much reach and view you're getting.
Yeah,
So it brings me back to, why are they doing this?
yeah,
We talk about, we're of service and, we want to help people and we put ourselves out there. We all take time to do all these things that out of our time that we don't get paid for. But all that person was worried about is being seen.
yeah,
So and it probably is not just in our industry, it's probably in a lot of industries, you know what I mean? Like, um, and I don't know, I think it's just more, I wouldn't want to behave like that. If I had made it to the top, or if you class yourself as making it to the top, or you've got so many hundreds of thousands of followers, and um, little old me reaches out to you to come on the podcast, I I don't think I would knock it back. I would think that I would want to empower the new generation of mediums, the people that are coming behind me, because, this person isn't young. He's not 20 or she's not 20. Do you know what I mean? Like, and one day they're going to be one of the so-called pioneers that we look up to. But this is the response you get back. They're only looking at viewers. I mean, the legendary pioneers went out of their way for so many people to demonstrate at churches all the time for free. So it's a bit, I don't know, a bit kick in the guts. But here I am, ragging on about this. So, what's your thought, David?
Right, no, I completely agree. And no, without giving this person's name away, because it's not about that, it's just about talking about certain behaviors. It is disappointing because, as you say, they are a very well-known person in the mediumship industry, been doing it a long time. And as you say, the word pioneer, and I think he probably is a pioneer um, to some extent as well. And I would have thought the kind of person who doesn't need loads of followers, who's got enough already.
Mm,
But yeah, to then receive that email, obviously, which I've seen because you sent it to me, being purely focused on how many viewers it's going to get from the interview, it is very disappointing. It's very
mm,
disappointing because I mean, to me, I've never watched this person work, right? So for me, it's not an inspiration. So I don't really care about that. But if that came from another medium, also of the same caliber, I would be very disappointed as well. Because as you say, I would expect that these are the same people, as you say, who talk about supporting everybody else and doing this work for the good and love and light, but then your behavior and attitudes is different. I always say, because what I'm seeing at the moment um, is from these same mediums of the same caliber, or not even just them, but other mediums in the industry, is that your behavior and your attitude is diminishing your message. And so you can talk about load of love and light, but if you're not displaying it, then to me you're fickle and you've got no integrity. And I also think I want to say this as well because we have discussed this about our podcast. So people that listen to us and are genuinely interested in the podcast and support us and whatever else understand and they know that this podcast is not about showboating. This is about us talking about our views and our opinions and our experiences in an honest way with a touch of reality and in a down to earth way in order
mm,
to help educate, to share wisdom, to get people thinking differently. That's what this podcast is about, and for us to discuss between us different topics and issues. So that people out there listening get different views on that as well. That's what this podcast is about. We don't sit here and go, look how great I am. I did this demonstration last week and I got this, and this, and I've done this. We don't sit here and talk about that. But if we wanted to, we're within our rights to do that because I think sometimes, yes, we do need to display what we can do so people understand what they're getting from us. But when someone only wants to come on if we've got bigger numbers, do you know what? I don't want those people.
neither.
So for anyone that is listening to this that wants to come on the podcast, and I'm going to be quite blunt and quite honest here, right? And it's not to sound an arsehole, but it's just to be honest. If you only want to come onto the podcast to showboat and to increase your viewing figures, I don't want you because
Mm,
that's not what this is about. I want mediums and other guests to come on this podcast who are going to be open, who are going to share their views, their opinions, their experience in order to give people something to think about and to help teach and educate. I don't want any show-offs on here. I
Yeah.
see enough of that on Facebook. That's not what we're about here. Um, so that's who we want. And also, just say, I know people have reached out to us to come up to us to be a guest on the podcast as well. We're not ignoring you, but
Mhm.
with us the way we work, we don't have a big list of people and say, "What, got to get them on." We do it very ad hoc. So somebody might drop in our minds, and we go, "Oh, I might contact that person or contact that person." So we are still in the process of looking at guests coming on and contacting people and reaching out. But that's just how we work. So it's not like we plan a whole season and then do it. No, we kind of plan as we go. So that's very much how we work. So if if you do want to be on the podcast, by all means reach out. But again, we are quite, I don't want to say particular, but we are just aware of what this podcast is about, and therefore we want to be what's the word I'm looking for? Would want
Authentic.
yeah, want to be conscious about that we're getting
Yeah.
authentic people on who are coming on for the right reasons and not
Hmm.
for the reasons that I've already said, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
They have to be in alignment as well. I just
Yeah.
feel like I can't just bring anyone on that I wouldn't go to be honest.
No, that's
I just being
absolutely,
honest.
absolutely.
So, um,
Because you've got to be aware that whoever you get on your podcast, you are almost what's the word?
endorsing.
Endorsing, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. You're also endorsing them, the way they behave, their mediumship as well. And so it might sound really picky, but you've got to think about these things at the end of the day, because we want people to listen to this podcast and feel inspired and feel uplifted and feel like they've taken something from it, which is going to help them, whether it be personally, for
Mm.
those of you that have lost people, or if you are doing this work in mediumship or psychic or whatever else, that you do get something from it, whatever side of the fence that you sit on. So
Yeah,
that's really important. So yeah, that to receive that from that person um, was. I don't think it was their assistant or something, but either way, it was still quite disappointing. So they won't be coming on.
very. No, and it's
I don't care how big they are.
our exactly our journey can be very, very isolating. It can be very, very lonely. So if another medium is listening to this and going, "Oh my God, oh, they're my kind of people. Oh, they're not my kind of people," or "Gee, they speak heaps of shit," or "Well, jog on." Well, that's okay. You're not, we're not your people. But there might be people that listen to us and go, "I can relate to that. Oh my God, you're speaking my language," or
Yeah,
"This is how I feel," or "Oh, I don't have another medium friend that is out there that I can bounce things back off. But gee, it's good to hear that these people are just down to earth and saying it how it is." And that's exactly how I feel. Oh, that resonates with me. So we want to be a little bit of everything, and down to earth with everyday life and how our journeys go, but also the people that we bring on. Like, we want to hear their story. How did they get started? How hard has it been for them? Because this isn't freaking easy. And
yeah.
again, they got to be able to put up with my swearing.
I
Like,
love you swearing, Glenda. I love it.
I'm like, sometimes I think, "Oh no, I need to cut back. Oh my God, I was swearing." But it's like, this is me. The people that come for my readings love it. The people I meet love it. I'm not going to change for anyone, and I'm not going to silence and be little misfitting goody two shoes when I'm actually a human. I'm right here, human, and I'm doing a bit of both. I'm living in this world. I'm also, dabbling with spirit, but I don't think my old girl wants me to change. I don't think spirit wants me to change. This is who I am. So it's so important to be authentic. It's most important to be yourself. And if you want to come on to the podcast and be somebody that you're not, I don't want you on. It's just I can't handle fake. I can't handle the fake that's on social media. Just be real. That's all it is. Be real. And if this person had been real and said, "I am flat out. I don't have time for this. I am really sorry. Thank you for inviting me on." like I said, I would have taken it better than how many followers and how much reach do you have.
Uh, absolutely, absolutely. I can't, I can't be doing with any of this uppity, snobbish attitude. I just can't. It just, as you say, it's that word resonate. None of that bollocks resonates with me, to be perfectly honest. And so if it
Do
doesn't
they,
resonate, then don't come on. That's it.
to me, it's saying I'm better than you. I am better than you. That's all it is. It's telling me that you think you're better than me.
Mm,
And no one is better than anyone else.
yeah,
We're all individual, we're all unique. This is what we keep preaching all the time. We just do things differently. So I don't know. It's just kind of a bit disappointing. So,
very
David, have you
disappointing.
had, yeah, so what disappointments have you had? I'd like to hear. Can you think of any?
Huh, where would you like me to start? Okay.
Okay,
Let's
go on. Go
let's
on.
try and bullet point it in my head so I sound like I'm not just rambling and I am making some kind of sense. Um, at the minute, at this current moment in time, I think it's what's disappointing me in the industry is the behaviors of people. And I'm not even talking about skeptics or cynics here. I'm actually talking about people who actually do the work in the industry. So I'm talking about mediums, but I'm also referring to certain spiritualist churches and centres that are
Mm.
disappointing me at the minute. Because what I'm seeing is, if I just focus on the mediums at the moment, there's so much. It just seems to me. Now, this is just my perception of what I see. Is just there's so much bitching and backstabbing, trying to tear people down, calling people out on videos all over social media um, and just behaving in a way which I wouldn't necessarily consider spiritual, which is a whole other topic we can talk about in a minute. But it just seems at the minute, as Hannah said the day when we interviewed her, it's almost like the shit's finally rising to the top. That there are people that are being called out that need to be called out, but equally there are people that are being called out just through pure jealousy, and then people are only being called out because it makes the person who's calling that person out look better. Because they're almost saying that person over here is fake and they're researching this, that, and the other. But look at what we do. So to me, straight away, I'm like, well, the only reason you're trying to call that person out is to put the attention back on you to say how good to say how great you are and, what, and the work you do is better. So there's a lot of that going on, which is really disappointing because I didn't come into the industry for that. I no, I came to what genuine mediums do, which is to help people to bring that connection and whatever else that we say that goes on with it in a positive way. So it's disappointing to see that, and it's actually really disheartening as well because at the minute I'm in that mindset of do I want to be I can't put my teeth back in an industry like this? And I know this goes on not just in this industry. This goes on, in many different workspaces, and so it's not we're not unique for that. But when you see it as much going on as we are, it does dishearten you, and you think, "Oh God, have I really got to kind of wade through that treacle? Do you know what I mean? To be seen, because it seems to be that all the people that are getting seen are the people that are doing the calling out and the people that are being called out, and everyone else is kind of stood in the background watching what's going on. So that's really disappointing. Another thing that disappoints me at the minute, and I hear so much of this going on as well, because as you know, I work a lot of the churches and the centres, and so much infighting going on in these spiritualist churches and centres that committees are falling out with each other. You got people bitching and backstabbing. You got people telling other people then they're not good enough, and then all these committees that um, keeping the church together are now disbanding and things are going to shit. And it's like, come on, you're here to run a church so people can come in and enjoy it, but yet you're all infighting And it's all ego based, in my opinion.
It is. It
And
is.
it's to a point where I'm thinking, like, do you know what? I don't want to be involved in with that church or that centre anymore because it creates an atmosphere. And when go to work in a church or a centre, I need that good energy to work with
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
that builds the energy for spirit, that builds that upliftment, and that builds that levity that I need to work with. But it's some of that seems to be coming undone because of the behaviours of people that run certain churches, and I just think it's time to grow up, people. You're adults here running these things. Um, just because you run a church or you're in a certain position does not make you better than the other person that's doing that. Uh, it's at the end of the day, it's about community, and
Exactly.
again, keeping the doors open for the public to come and enjoy because they're keeping your doors open at the end of the day. But you need to be aware, as if these people are aware, that your behavior creates the energy that's in that space. So if you're
Hmm.
negative and bitching and backstabbing each
Exactly.
other, that creates a negative energy, and people can feel it. And so you've got psychics and mediums going in and out your church all the time, so people will feel it. And even with these online groups, it's like they they have an issue with someone within the, and they advertise it on Facebook.
Mm.
And to me, it's not attractive, and so I step away
No.
from it. I do not want to be included, or I do not want to work for any group or church where you've got that going on, which you bring to the public's attention. So if you've got admins, let's say, for argument's sake, if you've got admins and people in your admin group on Facebook and your Facebook groups who are fighting between each other, keep it to your damn self.
Yeah.
But you're always putting it out on Facebook. Well, I just want to put my side of the story straight. I don't care.
Who cares? Who cares?
Because what you're doing is you're showing the level of, I don't know the word I want to use here. You're showing the integrity or the authenticity of your group on Facebook by putting all these things out on Facebook.
Mm.
Like there's always a drama. I do not want to be included in anyone's drama. Keep it to yourself. Sort out your issues between yourself behind the scenes.
Yeah, there was a really big stuff around going on. I think it was more last year that I saw all these little groups, these practice groups. They were all bickering amongst each other. They were all dobbing each other in for Zooms that were going on. So they were shutting down each other's Zooms. It's
That's what I
just
mean,
like
yeah.
it was, yeah, it's all about numbers instead of just coming as together and collaborating and working through and helping each other grow. They're just bickering. So if you're seeing any of this, leave, run a mile, go find another group, a practice group, or somewhere else that is more nurturing and more loving and inviting than what is going on. Because this sort of stuff just needs to stop, and it's hence why I never went on the groups. I think there was only one or two that I used to go on last year, and as soon as the stuff started, that was it. I was out. I just can't watch it. I can't be part of it. You can feel the energy. Being a psychic medium, you can feel what's going on. Even if it's on a Zoom, you can feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's a bit pathetic to me. It's like you all say you want to do the work for spirit and for the good of people, but yet here you are bitching about each other, backstabbing each other, calling each other out on Facebook. Yeah, that's really doing the good for spirit, isn't it? That they've got no idea what they're creating. But then what it does though, it pulls people in to their argument. Because as I
Yeah.
think we said before, as we press live, if you've got die-hard followers, then they're going to get involved. And then you've got not just your set of admins fighting between each other, you've then got members of the public who don't know each other also fighting and arguing with each other in your comments. Look at what you've created by putting out
Mm.
your personal stuff on Facebook. Is that
I
what you
see
want?
a lot. I see a lot of that. It's like I'm just going to drop this little dynamite bomb here, and I'm just going to start this conversation and run. And then it's just like comment after comment after comment after comment, and it's just all pure hatred and negativity. And that person's wrong. I have to be right. What is this achieving? It just needs to stop. So.
shows
I
me the
don't know
intent.
what
That
what's
shows me the intent of that person and what their character is.
yeah,
If you're going to
yeah,
drop something, you're going to start the fire, then walk away from it and watch people argue. You're an asshole.
mm,
If you start
absolutely.
something, finish it. Don't get other
Hmm.
people to finish your arguments for you.
Hmm.
If you've got any integrity about you, I mean, because that to me
Yeah,
is very manipulative. That's a manipulative tactic. You're trying to
it's
stir
not
up the
it's
pot. Mm.
it's not nice. It's not. But hey, and it's sad that we have to talk about this sort of stuff, but
It's true.
I'm sure
It's
other
true.
it's true.
I'm
It's
sure that other
true.
people, I've spoken to a lot of other mediums who are also seeing it and saying the same thing. So
Wow.
it exists. So you can't just ignore it. You've got to speak about it. And sometimes I think when you stay silent about things, you become an enabler because you're
Mm.
enabling that behavior to happen.
Again, this industry isn't is there's no what's the word? You can't be held accountable because really there's no certification for it other than going through the CNU, SNU and being certified in that way. But I mean, who is these days? Who's going to go through all of that to be certified? Everyone just does these courses and then next minute they're just a medium. Do you know what I mean?
And that brings disappointment as well, because you talk about this, the certification with the from the
Yeah,
SNU, but just because someone's got a certificate, don't mean they're any good or ethical.
yeah, exactly. So
Anyone
there
can
you
have
go.
anyone can have letters after their name, but
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that they're a decent or a good person. Is probably what I'm trying to say. Because look, we both know we've heard the stories, we've seen things with our own eyes and heard things with our own ears. That people who have these higher qualifications, if you want to call it that, they're not nice people. The way they talk to people or talk about people, the way they teach people, calling people out in class in front of everybody else, telling people
yeah,
you're never going to be a medium in front of everybody else. So you can have all of the qualifications in the world that you like, but it's not your qualification that makes you a good person. It's not your
that's it. So
qualification that defines your character. It's your personality, it's your humanity, it's your compassion, which shows me your
that,
character, which it defines your character. It's not a certificate with a signature on it to say, well done, congratulations, here you go and work as a medium.
yeah, same as a doctor. You can go to
Yeah,
university, get your certification. Doesn't mean you're doing a good job.
absolutely. And that's disappointing with people, who have those kind of qualifications, who then talk down to people who don't, thinking they're the dog's bollocks because they've trained at a certain place, or they've got certain letters out of credentials, after the name. That do you know that doesn't mean anything to me.
No, I kind of don't look at that now. I just
No, I
think
don't. Does so I because
means
it's
jack
just
shit.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's about
Mm,
if you're good enough, then your mediumship will prove it, not a certificate.
yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Well, we've been harping on about this. It seems like a bit of a downer, this podcast I've started today.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
It's all my fault. Oh my gosh. Must have been like a whingy podcast or something like that. What are we going to call it? Whingy podcasts about mediums that just do stupid shit.
No, but look, it's important to talk about because it happens. Neither of us
Mm.
are pretending. None of us have got rose tinted glasses on, and we're not pretending that this industry is full of love and light because it's not.
It's
Just like
not.
it,
I've been burnt. I've been burnt.
yeah,
I've been
absolutely. And a lot of it is going on
people.
at the moment. People
Oh,
showing their true colours.
so many people out there just hook up. You want to do a collab? Let's do this together. Let's do that. Next minute, they're doing it to hook up all your followers. So your followers follow them and you're getting ghosted by them not responding to your messages. God, I've been there. I learnt my
Hmm.
lesson. It
Yeah,
happens.
and I think
And
a lot of that is what's going on with us. I think because we don't get involved in it. No, we can see
no,
it because it happens publicly, as I've said. But I think
Mm.
our lesson from it is watching what's going on. Now, what we're learning is, well, we just sit back and we just don't get involved in it. We
Ah,
don't comment on people's posts, even if we agree or not. We don't post on people's posts on social media because I don't want to be embroiled in all of that stuff. We're about staying in our own lane, and so that's what we're also learning from this as well, is stay in our own lane. We do what we do, we work how we work, um, and let other people just get on with it because it all comes out in the wash in the end, doesn't it? So
absolutely.
these people who are calling each other out and slating each other and whatever else, you know, what they're doing, what their actions are doing is actually showing their true characters. So again, another lesson for us is um, to trust what we're seeing and to know that we're better off away from it because these people that maybe we thought at one time or another was a good person are actually showing well actually they're not. And so,
Mm.
my lesson from that is, well, you were right to step away from that and keep away from that because now look what's happened. And that's why I guess when people look at our social media, we're not surrounded in drama. We're not
No,
surrounded
no.
in that kind of stuff. There's no
With the
sensational
negative
headlines about
comments.
no, we don't get any
No.
of that because we that's not our intention at the end of the day. I guess that's what a disappointing thing is that all the other people's intentions seem to always be negative to try and put themselves on this pedestal to make others feel like they're small and
Yeah.
that they're below them, and that's not how we operate. And I don't care how big they are. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's it. You
Um,
don't have to step on
doesn't
someone else to get any higher. It's there's no need for it. It's just childish behavior. But it's also a reflection on people not doing the inner work. Like hold that mirror up up in front of you, and are you
yeah
happy with what you're putting out? Are you happy with what with yourself and the way that you hold yourself in the community and in society? And that should give you your answer. But a lot of people don't see that because they're not doing the inner work. But like that's life, isn't it? We're going to come
yeah
across that just like we're going to come across people that don't align with us anymore. And again, you can walk away and not be nasty. You can walk
absolutely
away
yeah
and go on your journey. Like I always say, I get on that train, whether or not I get off at your station or keep going, I'm still going to keep moving forward. And that's what people can do without being so nasty, without tearing each other down. So, whatever is going on with anyone in their life, you don't need revenge. You don't need karma. You don't need to get back at somebody. Just let it be. Walk away. Walk away. It's not worth it.
yeah get on with it.
Yeah.
Unless certain people need to be called out, which I would do. I mean, I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not an argumentative person. However, um, I have every single right, as so says everybody else, to stand up for ourselves if we feel that what's been said is unjust or whatever. I don't think we can take everything lying down because then we become a
No.
doormat,
Yeah.
and that really then affects us mentally as well. So, but if I think someone's out of order, then I will say to them, no, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, sometimes people do need to. Otherwise, again, we're letting people get away with whatever they want to say. However they want to run their mouth, we're enabling that behaviour. And so, I mean, if they've talked badly about someone else, I won't necessarily get involved because again, that's not my business, right? And people's opinions are not always based in facts. Let's face it, it's based on an opinion from a personal point of view. So it's not always factual anyway. But if it's about me, then at this point in my life, well, I would have, me years ago, I would have just swept under the carpet, felt a bit bad about it because of my sensitivity. But nowadays, when you get to, our kind of age, we're not too far apart, you do learn to go, no, no, bollocks to this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not a 21-year-old anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm four.
I used to love confrontation. I used to just thrive in it. And then I think I softened with age where now I can't be bothered with confrontation. Um, I I don't know if I even be bothered trying to prove that I'm right or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I just get to that
Yeah,
point
yeah,
where I just go, you know what, if that's what you want to think, fill your boots, off you fuck, just see ya. But I just couldn't be bothered. But
Yeah,
again, when we started this conversation this evening or this morning, we're kind of pointing the finger at people getting involved in things that they know nothing about,
absolutely. Yeah,
stirring the pot and gossiping and carrying on with the stuff that's going on to inflame it instead of just walking away from it.
hmm,
Again, you don't have to comment on all those posts. Walk away,
absolutely.
scroll past. It doesn't interest me. I don't even do my own social media. It doesn't interest me. Social media does not interest me. I post for my business and that is it. I
Yeah.
cannot be bothered with looking at what you had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't give a shit. Half the time, I'm still trying to decide what to have for lunch. So I'm not interested in what you're having.
Mm. But we don't
It's
all. I said this on on a video, I think, at some point, that we don't always have to have an opinion on fucking
no,
everything. You don't
no.
have to comment. Look, there's lots of things that I look at and I feel like I want to put a comment saying trash because what you're
Hmm.
talking is trash or the poster I think is trash. But I don't because I don't need to do that. I don't need to have an opinion about every single thing. And that's how I keep my peace. So I don't
Hmm.
get involved in other people's drama on Facebook or social media or wherever it might be. Keep myself to myself. But let's just talk about me, then I might have something to say about it. But otherwise, just I think people find because they're sat behind a computer or a phone screen, it's so easy, isn't it? It's so big and brave to comment on someone's post. You don't need to. Look at what's going on in your life and ask before you post something, ask yourself, what is the value in me posting this comment?
Exactly.
Does it add value to the conversation? Or is it just me being an arsehole, wants to put my tooth penneth in so I can be heard? Think
Hmm.
about that.
Exactly.
What are you giving your energy to, which you could be placing somewhere else in your life? We don't
Yeah.
need to comment on every single bloody thing that you see on social media.
Oh yeah. So there you go. That's our chat for today. So I hope you
Yes, I know.
listeners,
I thought I should
these
just keep
poor
on.
list these poor listeners are just thinking, oh my God, they're on a rant today. But no, so I think some things just need to be said. And if you're listening and you're one of those people, pull your head in, stop doing it, walk away. Or if you're in the same boat as us where we're sick of listening and watching this happen, like spread love, not freaking bullshit. It's just like not needed, not
Ah,
needed at all.
yeah,
And if one of
absolutely.
your friends is doing that, pull their head in. Like, it's not on. It's not
No.
on. So
So
that's
there
it
you
for
go.
today. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Glenda. And thank you, listeners, for putting up with us today. But I'm sure there are a lot of people listening to this episode today who are going, do you know what? It's driving me mad as well. It's do my head in everything that's going on out there. So if you are, welcome to the club. No, you're
Yeah.
not. No, you're not alone. And just keep your peace. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what you're giving your attention and energy to, and I'll leave it on that. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and hopefully we'll see you again in the Spirit Lounge at some point soon.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.